A 12-year-old boy stands at a first-class boarding gate, holding a valid ticket, but one look from the agent changes everything. Whispers grow, phones come out, and tension thickens as he's told to step aside. What no one knows is someone very important is watching from just a few feet behind him. It's late afternoon at JFK. The light outside has started to shift, casting long shadows across the terminal floor. Inside, the airport is packed. Gate 47A is a mess. A flight to Los Angeles is getting ready to board, and the tension is thick. The flight was delayed twice already. People are antsy. Phones are dying. Kids are crying. Every seat near the gate is taken, with some passengers pacing and others leaning against the wall, eyes fixed on the status board. Announcements echo overhead. First in English, then in Spanish, then again. Flight attendants line up at the jet bridge door, prepping for boarding. Nearby, a woman argues about a missed upgrade. Another is trying to connect her AirPods. Someone's on the phone yelling, "I told you I'll call as soon as I land." Through this crowd walks Jaden. He's clutching his ticket in one hand, his backpack in the other. His sweatshirt is a little too big, and his sneakers fresh, but scuffed at the toes, quietly squeak with every step. This isn't just any flight. It's his first time on a plane, first time leaving the state, first time traveling without his mom. But right now, he's focused. He looks at the sign, priority boarding, first class. He reads it again, then steps forward. He takes his place in the short line, behind a man in a gray suit, and in front of a woman with a service dog. Jaden's heart is racing, not because he's nervous about flying, but because he wants to get everything right. His mom told him, "Be respectful. Keep your things close. Don't get distracted. You're representing something bigger than just you." And he remembers. He's standing there, practicing what he's going to say to the person next to him on the plane, just in case they ask what he's doing in first class. When the gate agent looks up, her name is Corinne. She's been with the airline 22 years. She's handled everything, from missing passengers to emergency landings. She works overtime when she can. And today she's 3 hours into a double shift with a sore foot and a printer that keeps jamming. She sees Jaden in the line and immediately frowns. He's small, alone, young, and standing in a space where, in her eyes, he doesn't belong. Corinne walks over, glances at his hand, and stops the line with a wave. "This is first class," she says. Her voice isn't angry, just sharp, clipped. "Where's your parent?" Jaden lifts his eyes. "I'm flying alone." Corinne arches her brow. "Okay, well, I need to see ID." Jaden blinks. "I don't have any. TSA let me through. My mom said I didn't need it." She tightens her jaw. "Everyone needs ID to fly." He holds out the ticket. Corinne doesn't take it. She doesn't even really look at it. "I'm going to need you to step aside." People in line shift slightly. The man behind Jaden looks down at his phone. The woman with the dog pulls her earbuds out. There's no yelling, no scene, but the temperature shifts. Jaden's hands start to sweat. He wipes them on his jeans and tries to explain. "There's this science conference," he says. "I got invited to speak. The ticket was, they gave it to me." Corinne lets out a short breath. "Okay," she says. "And who's they?" He pauses. "The Marcus Tate Foundation." She crosses her arms. "Uh-huh, and they just gave you a first-class ticket?" Jaden nods. Corinne shakes her head. "Look, I've seen this before. Kids grabbing someone's pass. Wrong terminal. People thinking they can sneak past. It happens." "I didn't sneak," Jaden says quietly. By now, boarding has started. Other passengers are scanning their tickets, walking through the gate, taking glances back. A teenager in a hoodie pulls out her phone and taps record. Corinne calls over the intercom. "Supervisor to gate 47A. Supervisor to gate 47A. Jaden takes a step back, not because he wants to, because he thinks maybe that's what they want. He looks around. Nobody is helping him. Nobody is stepping in. Nobody is saying, "Wait a minute, let the kid speak." And in the middle of it all, he sees his mom's face in his head, her hands on his shoulders that morning, saying, "You've already earned your seat. Don't let anybody make you feel like you haven't." Still, he's 12. His stomach hurts. His eyes sting. He doesn't want to cry. But what can he do? The supervisor arrives. Her name is Maria. She's calm, slightly older than Karen, and clearly tired of the chaos. She takes the ticket from Jaden, scans it, and checks the manifest. Her face shows no reaction. "It's valid," she says. "Jaden Daniels. Seat 2A. Karen doesn't back down. It could be a system glitch. Or stolen. We don't know that ticket's his. He has no ID, no guardian. Maria sighs and turns to Jaden. "Who bought your ticket, sweetheart?" He explains again, a little faster. "This time, the conference organizers. Marcus Tate invited me. It's a STEM event." Maria nods slowly but doesn't let him through. "We need to verify. Just give us a moment. The gate is still boarding." People keep staring. Some whisper. Others just record dot and right there, unnoticed by almost everyone. A man in a sharp blue suit quietly watches it all unfold. He's been standing 3 places behind Jaden this whole time. Tall, clean cut, calm. He watches Karen. He watches Maria. He watches Jaden try to keep his voice even. He says nothing, but he's listening, because this moment, it's not new to him. He's seen it too many times. And that boy, the one being questioned like he doesn't belong, that's his guest. Jaden doesn't know yet. He's too focused on staying strong. He remembers his mom again. Her hand smoothing the edge of his backpack. Her voice, "Never let anyone make you feel small." He tightens his grip on the ticket. He looks down, then back up. He stands straighter. He's not causing a scene. He's not raising his voice. He's just standing, quietly, bravely, trying to make it to a seat he already earned, and somehow, that's the most powerful thing happening in that terminal, because even with the noise, the judgment, the crowd, and the pressure, Jaden isn't shrinking. He's showing them all exactly who he is, even if they don't see it yet. Maria stands at the gate, shoulders squared. She's worked in customer service long enough to know how these things go. Miscommunication, stress, lost patience. It all plays out here, in front of a crowd. Right before takeoff. She holds Jaden's ticket, scans it once, scans it again. It's real. The seat is real. His name is right there. Jaden Daniels, seat 2A. Maria says it plainly. It's valid. But Karen isn't satisfied. She steps closer, eyes locked on Jaden, like he's hiding something. "I've seen this before," Karen says. "Kids trying to slip past with someone else's pass. The system isn't perfect. That could be a print error, or maybe someone helped him forge it." Jaden's eyes flick back and forth between the 2 women. He wants to speak. He wants to explain again. But it feels useless now. Like every word he says gets swallowed before it reaches their ears. Maria doesn't argue. She's focused on protocol. "He doesn't have ID," she says softly, more to herself than anyone else. "But he cleared TSA. Karen presses again. "Doesn't matter. It's not adding up." More passengers are now watching. One mother quietly pulls her child a little closer. A man leans against the gate wall, arms crossed, listening. A teenager hits record on her phone. Again, Maria sighs. "Let's step aside for a minute." Jaden does as he's told. He walks slowly toward the corner of the gate area, away from the scanners, away from the line. He stands there, small in the middle of this big moment. He watches passengers file past him, eyes averted, some sympathetic, others annoyed. Karen stays near the counter. She looks pleased, like she's solved a puzzle. She doesn't look at Jaden again, and just when it seems like Jaden's going to be left behind, quietly the man in the blue suit steps forward. He walks with calm, steady purpose. No rush, no drama. Just presence. His voice breaks the tension like a pin to a balloon. Excuse me. Corinne turns. Maria turns. Even Jaden looks up. The man holds out a slim leather ID wallet. Marcus Tate, founder of the Elevate STEM Foundation. I believe there's been a misunderstanding. Corinne stares at him. The name doesn't land right away, but Maria reacts fast. You're Marcus Tate? He nods once. Yes. There's a small gasp from the woman with the service dog. Corinne's face shifts stiff, like a curtain dropping. Marcus gestures toward Jaden. This young man is my guest. I invited him to speak at my foundation's national conference tomorrow in Los Angeles. His ticket first class was arranged by my team. I signed off on it personally. Jaden's mouth opens just slightly. He didn't know Marcus would be here. He hadn't seen him in the crowd. Corinne fumbles. I didn't know. Marcus doesn't raise his voice, doesn't lean forward. He simply says, you assumed, without asking. Corinne's eyes dart between Marcus, Maria, and the gate counter. Maria clears her throat. Mr. Tate, I sincerely apologize. I'm not the one who needs an apology. He looks at Jaden. You good? Jaden nods slowly. Still stunned. Corinne starts again. It was just a misunderstanding. I didn't mean. Marcus lifts his hand. This young man earned his place here. He wasn't doing anything wrong. He didn't yell. He didn't argue. He waited while you doubted him in front of a crowd. And the only reason we're having this conversation is because I happened to be in line. What if I wasn't? Corinne has no answer. None she can say out loud. I'll be requesting a formal review of this incident, Marcus adds. This shouldn't happen. Not to anyone. Maria gives a sharp nod. Understood. And just like that, the room shifts. Jaden walks back toward the gate. Corinne doesn't stop him this time. The woman with the phone says quietly, I got the whole thing. Every second, Marcus turns to her. You recording this? She nods. Already. Posted. Twitter, TikTok, it's blowing up. Corinne stiffens again. She looks at the crowd and sees what she hadn't noticed before. Faces. Phones. A spotlight she didn't expect. Maria, trying to manage the fallout, pulls Corinne aside. Jaden walks with Marcus toward the scanner. Marcus lays a firm hand on his shoulder, guiding him through. They disappear down the jet bridge. But the story doesn't end there. By the time the plane lifts off from JFK, the video has already made it to a few high-profile accounts. Clips of Jaden holding his ticket. Corinne saying, this can't be yours. Marcus stepping in. It's edited, captioned, and posted with hashtags. Within hours, it hits 1 million views. News outlets pick it up. 12-year-old genius accused of faking ticket until billionaire steps in. Marcus's team issues a statement confirming everything. Jaden's identity, his seat, his participation in the Elevate STEM conference. They reaffirm their commitment to equity in education and inclusion. The airline scrambles. They issue a carefully worded apology. A formal investigation is launched. Corinne is placed on temporary leave. Comment sections blow up. Some people are outraged. Some say it was a misunderstanding. Others ask how many kids like Jaden never got that moment of rescue. Never had someone in the line behind them to step in. Never got the benefit of the doubt. Meanwhile, 30,000 feet above the headlines, Jaden is sitting in 2A. The seat reclines. A window view of the clouds. A meal he can't pronounce. A napkin with his name handwritten on it. Next to him sits Marcus Tate. They talk, not just about science. Not just about the conference. But about life. About being seen. About how much harder it is to prove yourself when people expect less from you. Marcus tells Jaden, you didn't owe anyone anything. You stood there with more grace than most adults could manage. Jaden listens, then nods. For the first time that day, he lets out a full breath, and he smiles, because even though it was rough, Even though it shouldn't have happened that way, he's still going, still presenting, still doing what he was born to do. The world may have doubted him at the gate, but now the world is watching. The next morning in Los Angeles, the sun spills across the city like gold. It's still early, but the city's alive. The streets buzz with cars. Conference halls hum with energy. And at the downtown event center, the Elevate STEM conference is about to begin. Inside, banners hang from the ceiling, building the future through innovation. Rows of chairs stretch across the room. Dozens of booths line the walls. Kids, parents, mentors, journalists, they're all here, some for tech, some for inspiration, and some just to see the boy from the video. When Jaden walks in, something strange happens. People begin to clap. Not in the polite, short kind of way. This is real. Applause that grows louder with every step. Kids point. Parents nod. A woman with a press badge wipes her eyes. Jaden stops for a second, unsure of what to do. He's wearing a button-down shirt, his favorite sneakers, his laptop tucked under his arm. Marcus steps up beside him and whispers, "That's all for you. Keep walking." So he does. He walks past the cameras, past the organizers, past the crowd, and straight to the student showcase area. His booth is already set up. Diagrams, notes, and a monitor screen looping a video of his prototype, a water filtration system powered by solar energy and low-cost materials. It's meant for underserved neighborhoods. He built it in his mom's kitchen. The moment isn't lost on him. Yesterday, someone questioned if he even had a right to be in first class. Today, strangers are cheering just because he showed up. Somewhere in New York, meanwhile, things are quieter, but heavier. Karen's name has hit the internet. First it was screenshots, then her employee profile, then video edits with her face zoomed in, replayed over and over with music, captions, commentary. By midday, the airline has announced her suspension. News anchors use phrases like racial profiling and bias at the gate. People post angry threads about their own experiences. The hashtag #LetJADN board is trending. But buried between the memes and outrage are quieter messages. People saying she was wrong, but doxing isn't the answer. Some call for her to be fired. Others say she needs training, not punishment. A few ask what no one else has asked yet. What was going on in her life that day? And that question finds an answer, not through gossip, but journalism. An investigative report by a local outlet drops quietly that afternoon. It's not splashy. No breaking news banner, no red arrows, or clickbait. Just a photo of Karen, a title, the woman at the gate, and a story. Her name is Karen Haskins. She's 47, a mom of 2. Her husband was laid off from his factory job 10 months ago. She picked up double shifts, trying to keep up with bills, tuition, and her son's asthma medication. Her mother's in early stages of dementia, and she's been bouncing between caregiving, work, and barely sleeping. That day at the gate, she was on her second shift in 2 days. She hadn't been home in 16 hours. Her feet hurt. She missed lunch. And she made a mistake, a serious one, but one she didn't make out of hate. The article doesn't excuse what happened. It doesn't ask for sympathy. It simply tells the full story. All of it. And back at the conference, Marcus sees the article. He sends it to Jaden with a short note. "Let me know how you want to handle this." Jaden reads it in a quiet corner. No reporters, no fans. Just him, the article, and a long moment of silence. When he looks up, he makes a choice. Later, that night, Jaden records a video. It's just him, seated at a hotel desk, speaking into his phone camera. No fancy lighting. No background music, he says. "Hey everyone, I've seen what's been going on online. First, I want to say thank you for all the love. I didn't expect any of this. I'm grateful. But I also saw the article about the gate agent, Ms. Haskins. I read everything. And yeah, she made a mistake. She judged me. That hurt, but I also know what stress feels like. I know what it's like when life keeps hitting and you feel like you're just trying to breathe. I'm asking something hard. Let's stop sending her hate. Let's stop trying to tear her down. What she did wasn't right, but she's human. And we all mess up. Let's use this energy to help kids who don't usually get this kind of support. That's what I'm about. That's what this whole trip was about. He ends the video with a small smile dot. It's posted just after 8 p.m. by morning. It's on every platform. The response is overwhelming. Some people say he's too kind. Others say he's too forgiving. But most say one thing. This kid is different. And now? The moment. It's just before noon. The auditorium fills with noise, a mix of nerves, caffeine, and raw excitement. The keynote speech is about to start. Marcus walks out first. He introduces the theme of the year. Talks about innovation, opportunity, change. Then he pauses. There's someone I want to introduce, he says. He's 12, from Brooklyn. You've probably heard of him by now. But what you haven't seen yet is what he came here to do. The lights dim, and Jaden steps out. He doesn't rush. He doesn't fidget. He breathes in, takes his place behind the podium, and begins. He talks about the water system, about kids, missing school because of dirty water, about how his design uses repurposed plastic and low-cost solar panels, about why it matters. He pulls up slides, demonstrates results, shows how he got the idea, watching his mom boil water late at night because their pipes had gone rusty again. Then he pauses. I didn't come here to talk about an airport. I came here because kids like me deserve to build things too. We deserve space. We deserve respect. And sometimes we have to remind people of that, just by showing up. He closes his speech with a simple thank you to his mom for always pushing him, and to Marcus for standing beside him. The crowd doesn't just clap. They stand. Every row. Every person. A standing ovation that lasts a full minute. Then Marcus returns to the stage. He raises a hand for silence and says, We're announcing a new scholarship today. It's called the Jaden Daniels STEM Fellowship. It will support underrepresented youth in science and tech, kids who just need one person to believe in them, because that's all it takes. More applause. Jaden's mom, watching from the front row, has tears in her eyes. Jaden walks off stage, shoulders back, head high. Because this wasn't just about proving he belonged in first class. It was about proving he belonged everywhere. Back in New York, Corinne sits in a quiet room, away from the noise. No counters. Number. Crowds. Just a binder, a notebook, and a conversation that's been long overdue. She's attending her first day of sensitivity training. It's not punishment. It's a reset. A chance to pause, listen, understand. For the first time in a long time, she's not talking. She's hearing stories. Stories that sound nothing like her own, and yet still feel familiar. When the course ends, she writes a letter. Dear Jaden, I want to say I'm sorry. Not just for what happened at the gate, but for how I made you feel. I saw your age. I saw your skin. I didn't see you. That was my failure, and I take full responsibility. You didn't owe me grace, but you gave it anyway. I hope to carry that forward in how I see every passenger, every day. Jaden reads the letter. He doesn't hesitate. He writes back, Thank you. I forgive you. The airline makes its own changes. They roll out a new training program. More face-to-face sessions, more listening, more accountability. A new policy now gives minors in solo travel clear identification and fast-track check-in support. It's called the Jaden Protocol. In break rooms across terminals, agents sit in small groups, talking about respect, about perception, about what it means to pause just long enough to see someone fully. And for the first time in a long time, people are paying attention. It started with a boy and a boarding pass. But what happened that morning in Terminal 4 didn't end when the flight took off. It became something more, a moment that echoed beyond the gate into boardrooms, classrooms, living rooms, and the hearts of people who saw themselves in Jayden's silence, in his stillness, and his refusal to back away. The airline didn't just issue an apology and move on. They started looking inward. Within weeks, they rolled out an internal campaign. Pause, ask, listen. Every employee from the gate to corporate was required to complete new training, and not the kind you skip through on a tablet. They used Jayden's story, his name, his voice, his experience as a case study, not to shame, but to teach. It started as a single video, a reenactment of that day played side by side with actual headlines and Jayden's own words from his forgiveness video. In one scene, the screen shows Karen saying, "This can't be your ticket." Then it cuts to Jayden's recorded message. "She didn't see me for who I was, but I still believe people can grow." The video was shown across airports nationwide. Gate agents watched. Supervisors watched. Executives watched. Some cried. Some took notes. All remembered. For the first time, employees weren't being taught with checklists and quizzes. They were being asked to sit with a real moment, to think about how they see, not just what they do. They named the new approach the Jayden Initiative, a set of principles that prioritized human connection over protocol, awareness over assumption, patience over pressure. But the impact didn't stop with the airline. In classrooms across Brooklyn and far beyond it, something changed. Teachers pulled up Jayden's conference speech. They showed clips to students. Kids sat quietly, wide-eyed, watching this boy, not much older than them, talk about his project, about clean water, and about being judged before he could speak. In one sixth-grade class, a teacher paused the video halfway through and asked, "What do you see when Jayden walks into that airport?" A hand in the back went up. "I see someone nervous but excited." Another kid said, "I see someone like me." That mattered. For so long, kids like Jayden were told to stay quiet, told to be extra polite, told to avoid being misunderstood. But now, they had a story that showed something else, that when you stand tall, even when your knees shake, people will remember. That when you lead with dignity, you don't just earn respect, you change hearts. In libraries, kids checked out books on engineering. In community centers, parents asked how they could get their kids involved in science fairs. STEM clubs saw more sign-ups, especially from kids of color, kids from underfunded schools, kids who once thought first class was something meant for someone else. Jayden's name started showing up in morning announcements and posters and newsletters. Not as a headline. As a role model. But while the world looked forward, Jayden himself was still catching up with what it all meant. At home, his mom kept the conference badge. She placed it on the wall just beside the picture of his first science fair whim. They still lived in the same apartment. The hallway light still flickered. The oven still took too long to heat up, but there was something new now. Letters, emails, messages from strangers. Some said thank you. Others said you gave me hope. Jayden read every single one. He didn't reply to all, but he kept a folder, a special one, for the messages that hit the hardest. One said, "My son was scared to speak up in class, but after we watched your video, he started raising his hand." Another said, "My daughter wants to be an engineer now. She said, if Jayden can do it, I can too." Jayden didn't think of himself as a hero. He didn't want to. He was still the kid who forgot his lunch once a week. Still the kid who used duct tape to hold his backpack straps together. But now he also understood something bigger. That sometimes the things that break your heart also open a door. And then there was Karen. Months after that day, she returned to work quietly. No announcement. No spotlight, but people knew. Some gave her space. Some didn't speak to her at all. And then, one day, someone dropped a letter in Her locker. It was from a young co-worker she'd mentored years ago. The note read, "I saw the video. I saw what happened. But I also remember when you taught me how to handle a boarding issue with kindness. I hope you're okay. We all mess up. Just keep trying." Corinne kept that letter in her purse. She also kept Jaden's reply, the simple words, "Thank you. I forgive you." That meant more than she could explain. She didn't defend what she'd done. She didn't expect applause. She just showed up. Every day. A little slower, a little softer. She started asking more questions, listening more, making space. She didn't want to be remembered for one mistake. She wanted to be remembered for learning from it. Back in Los Angeles, the conference had ended. But something else was just beginning. Jaden and Marcus sat outside a cafe, sun dipping low in the sky. Jaden had a notebook open, scribbles of a new idea, a science kit for kids with low resources, something they could use at home. "Think we could fund it?" Jaden asked. Marcus grinned. "We can build it together." That's what Jaden wanted now. To keep building. Not just tech, not just projects, but possibility. He knew kids like him needed more than speeches. They needed access, encouragement, belief. He had all three. Now he wanted to pass them on. And so we looked back. At the boarding pass. At the ticket. At the gate. And we realize this was never just about flying first class. It was about being seen first. Jaden didn't raise his voice. He didn't demand anything. He simply stood there, ticket in hand, truth in heart, and held his ground. And that one decision shifted everything. He reminded us that moments like these aren't always loud. Sometimes they're quiet, still, uncomfortable, but they matter. He showed the world that courage doesn't always come with fireworks. Sometimes it looks like a 12-year-old kid in a hoodie and sneakers who refuses to shrink. And in doing so, he made people pause. At airports. At offices. At dinner tables. He became more than a headline. He became proof that brilliance doesn't have a uniform. That excellence isn't limited to one zip code. That respect isn't something you earn by fitting in. It's something everyone deserves the moment they walk in. So now, the question isn't, what happened to Jaden? We know that. The real question is, how many Jadens are out there right now, walking through schools, standing in line, showing up again and again with talent that deserves to be nurtured, not doubted? How many moments do we miss? Because we didn't ask. Because we didn't pause, because we looked, but didn't really see. And what if next time we did? What if we looked at someone with fresh eyes? What if we believed in possibility before proof? Because change doesn't just come from viral clips. It comes from choices. The small ones, the ones we make every day, and how we speak, how we treat others, and how we choose to see. If this story moved you, share it. Tell someone. Remember Jaden. And next time you meet a kid with big dreams and a nervous smile, maybe ask their name before anything else.